Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Sagittarius November 3, 2022. The moon spends the day in your partnership sector, encouraging a valuable one-on-one conversation or competent counsel. It can be a great time to collaborate. Someone might remind you of your obligations. Even so, you're self-directed, and while you appreciate feedback and interaction at this time of the lunar month, you don't seem to need others to motivate you to pursue your goals. With your heart truly into your pursuits, you can move mountains. Your dedication and commitment are apparent. The secret to happiness today is balance. Mystical Jupiter is shooting waterspouts from the oceans of Pisces. This is because he is retrograde in this zodiac sign and will continue to be for some time yet. The best way to use this energy for your benefit is to consider relationships from your past and how they mirrored you and also forced you to evolve. You are not just one soul traveling through time in isolation, you are connected to so many other kindred spirits along the way. Had you not met them, you wouldn't have learned and continue to be learning so many important life lessons about intimacy, your needs, romance, and companionship. Be loyal to your working relationships and commitments. It might be time to separate yourself from any arrangements to focus on independent partnerships and unique responsibilities during the first quarter moon in Aquarius. Instead of focusing on limited opportunities, the lunation invites you to shift your attention to relationships and commitments that could further your career in unexpected ways. You may feel like you have more liberty to do as you please when you entertain unlikely partnerships, unconventional arrangements, or uncommon duties. Do not be afraid to seek out exciting opportunities to commit to. In the lead up to the moon's return to your financial sector tomorrow, this is an important point in any month for having your antennas up. Even more so as the moon prepares to not only return for its first visit since Jupiter retrograde back in last week, but the only visit while the planet of luck and expansion is in retrograde motion. The next few days will be insightful. You are going to feel very useful over the next few weeks. Useful to others, but even more importantly vitally connected to your own life in a purposeful way. Give yourself what you need in terms of health and wellness in order to truly make the most of this period. The planetary configuration indicates a time to be thoughtful about what you put into your body, for you know that experiencing the consequences of what you eat is unavoidable. If you're out and about today, you can bet you'll meet someone new. It's a one day, and new is the keyword. It's an opportune time to make business contacts, as well as personal relationships. With your social nature, be mindful that any business meetings, even virtual ones, don't wind up being a social scene before the work is done. In fact, if it's possible, make a point of dedicating yourself to work before pleasure on a day like this. You'll get considerably more done this way. Set some plans for fun with friends new and old this evening, if possible. The moon's return to your relationship sector each month is always a valuable chance to check in, and especially this first visit since Saturn's direct turn here 10 days ago. As the moon and Saturn align today, there is a chance to look to the future, but it is still early days, with no pressure to move forward or to do anything other than pay attention. What you will find is that while you are just as emotionally engaged, the past no longer has the hold on you that it did. The moon is making its first visit to your relationship sector since Saturn turned direct here, with their alignment today coming 10 days after his last retrograde phase for another 3 decades here ended. This is a chance to not only become more emotionally engaged but connect with the planet that is now focused on the future rather than the past. Our eyes in the sky. Today brings many elements of surprise as the Scorpio sun squares off with the Aquarius moon. This can cause some upheaval on numerous levels, especially in relationships. The theme of the day centers around partnerships and those who mirror us on a soul level. The Scorpio influence commands us to dive deep into our psychological wounds, and the second quarter moon washing through Aquarius helps purge them. There is a feeling of being supported on an emotional level, despite how vulnerable the healing process makes us feel. You are not alone, even if it feels at times like you're the only one in the room. Saturn in authoritarian Aquarius doesn't let up on you mentally. There could be many challenges that require careful analysis. In fact, you could be way too hard on yourself now, because the cosmos encourages you to weigh every situation, making it tough to make any decisions. Remember that you know what's best for you, especially as the magnetic Sun-Moon square kicks up the dust and sends you in a totally different direction. Be prepared for some unexpected news that could have you jumping into new experiences almost instantly. In a case of perfect timing, the moon not only returns for its first visit to your relationship sector since Jupiter retrograde back in for a rare double-dip visit, but straight into a friendly aspect to Mercury, just days after the planet of communications returned to your communication sector. Mercury has joined the Sun and Venus, who have already begun a mission to get the communication lines open, and especially on the relationship front. This is the start of a partnership between the communication and relationship gods that will deepen over the coming days and weeks. The moon not only returns for its first visit to your relationship sector since Jupiter's return last week, but straight into a friendly aspect to Mercury, just days after the planet's return to your communication sector. This is just a taste of things to come, with some defining days and weeks coming up on the communication and relationship fronts. In the morning, the moon squares off with Venus, making it difficult to negotiate our needs and desires. On the one hand, we're inclined to group settings now. Under the Aquarius moon, we benefit from drama-free experiences with friends who stretch our minds but don't force us too far into emotional territory. On the other hand, Venus in Scorpio pitches us into the deep end of the relational pool, where intimacy is a given. We may struggle between the urge to keep things light and the compulsion to steamroll another's boundaries. Reconciling these two extremes can get a bit dicey. Yet, it may also make us aware that certain relationships aren't as simple and straightforward as we initially presumed them to be. Following this, the moon sextiles Chiron in Aries, smoothing over some of the tension prompted by the Moon-Venus square. We may now realize that challenges we face with friends, family members, or partners are indicative of history repeating. We are encouraged to retrace old footsteps and to course-correct regrettable past behaviors. In this way, uncomfortable moments serve as opportunities for healing.